Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm a spooky pirate. Yeah. Where the fuck did I put my? Okay, I've put my. I put. I had a. Oh, here's my sword. Okay, I found my sword. I've Captain Jack Sparrow. Sad news. I'll just quickly start the podcast off with. Tony unfortunately has died. We assume he's dead. He went down a giant water slide into an Indian burial ground, and no one's heard from him since. So, I think I'm just gonna have to do the podcast by myself this week. Wait, what was that noise? What the hell? Where did that come from? Was that a cat? I can't get out of shot. I'm too tall. Hang on, I got it. No, it's not enough.
You're dead. It's
I'm
fine.
dead. Oh, that took so long to set up. Holy, oh shit! I knocked the lamp down.
I can't get to it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to. I'm being spooked.
Oh, we're being spooked.
This goosebumps is really spooky.
Dave said, "Look out."
Yeah. I was watching.
Thanks for looking out, Dave. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I already died, so it was a bit late.
Yeah. Well, you can't see. Oh, I might be shouting too loud here, but what you can't see is that we're watching the Shrek version of Goosebumps, not the normal version.
Right version. Okay, so we'll move on to
spooky time.
Okay, so start off the podcast. I didn't really introduce us properly. I'm Joe Scorn, and I'm joined here by my usual co-host Tony Tones at RT. It's really fucking my depth perception. I'm going to take that off for a little bit. And this is the In-Between podcast. We talk about gaming news and everything in between.
Oh dear. I don't know how people in masks can Hollywood.
I was like, so that is actually the first on-camera appearance of Tony, because I was like, it's Halloween, you could just wear a mask.
Yeah, and I did.
That's a good-looking cake. So I think last year I always forget it's Halloween when we always record the podcast on Halloween somehow, or like right next to it, because it's Halloween's in like 2 days. It was tomorrow.
No,
it's the day after.
It's the day after tomorrow.
It's Wednesday's Halloween, and what I thought I'd do is, and I was like, every time I record, I was like, it's the spooky podcast, and you go, it's not, it's just a regular podcast, and at the beginning, Joe goes, it's spooky. I thought I'd actually do a spooky thing with, I just set this up like an hour before we started recording and just set everything up. And we did a couple of dress rehearsals. I was like, if we fuck this up,
literally a couple.
This is live, so this is as you see it.
Your lamp's still on. I don't know if you care about that.
It will be.
Hang on, I can get. You got it.
We don't need
Ignore
that
the spooky lighting effect.
Well, they don't. They can still see me from the light of the monitor in my spooky costume.
Yeah, it's spooky.
I just have these bullets here that I didn't show off.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
I think there was a gun. And the thing is, I got the all the shit down from the loft earlier. And they're literally, we just had a skeleton, a pirate, and then we had Batman, Robin, and Harley Quinn. And I was like, well, Dave's always saying he wants to be Harley Quinn. So if Dave's Harley Quinn, you can be Robin or Batman. Oh, you could be Batman and I'll be Robin. Because Batman has a mask.
Oh, right. And Robin hasn't.
Robin's got a sliver.
Born the Superman.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say, though, stream or anyone watching the VOD will not be able to appreciate that I'm wearing spooky socks as well as a spooky t-shirt.
I thought we should mention Tony is also he's wearing spooky socks. You've got skeleton socks on. I said, well, we're going to have to get you to kick me.
Or strangle you with my feet.
Tony came to the door and I said, Tony, I need you to strangle me.
Yeah.
And he said, that's funny. You're the third person to tell me that this week. No, okay.
I don't remember that, actually.
Another idea was that you'd kill me and then I'd become the skeleton as the curse of the Black Pearl. Because I've got the Captain Jack Sparrow outfit.
I'm a big proponent of both pirates and spooky stuff. So to me, like the first Pirates of the Caribbean is absolutely perfect.
It's a fucking great film. It's like, how did they make such a great film from a ride at Disneyland?
From having a really good director.
Like, have you seen Haunted Mansion? Because that's a great film. It's got Eddie Murphy. There's another ride at Disneyland called Haunted Mansion, and they were like, well, if this Pirates of the Caribbean shit can work, we can get Haunted Mansion to work. I don't know which one came first, actually.
I think Mansion came first, didn't it?
No idea.
I think it did. I remember I have watched it. I remember watching it, and I think pretty sure it came first.
Did you remember it being a terrible film?
That's alright. At best.
I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan. I have an Eddie Murphy poster above my screens.
He elevated it, but
no, I don't think he did. There's like
well, I like seeing him.
Post like Eddie Murphy is just like I'm cashing in checks for family films basically. Yeah. Like he just didn't make anything of merit after like the 80s.
It kind of sucks.
Well, he had like because in the 80s he was like Michael Jackson. Like he had a music career. Like a lot of people probably heard "Party All the Time," but had no idea that Eddie Murphy sings it. Even he did stand up. Like he did Raw and Delirious, which are like fucking hilarious stand up.
Yeah. Obviously, we're Eddie Murphy fans. So I feel like it's weird to find people that don't know about Eddie Murphy, but I guess there's people that don't know.
I was surprised to find out Eddie Murphy was a musician. That was something I never knew.
Oh, okay. I don't think I really understood who Eddie Murphy was until at the same time I was figuring that out with you. Like I was never like a big proponent. I didn't really know about Eddie Murphy. I'm not supporting me in Office or anything, so I'm not. Well,
I've seen all his films. So
I haven't.
It started off with like I started watching Eddie Murphy films with my sister. I just kept watching them all because I was trying to annoy her. I was like, I just watch all these Eddie Murphy films, and I was like, well, I've just watched them all, like. And there are some great ones like Coming to America, Trading Places, The Beverly Hills Cops.
Coming to America is like oddly good.
The Golden Child.
Fantastic. I don't remember that one.
It's actually a legit good film.
I just remembered like I'm wearing like trousers as like arm stuff.
Yeah, you can take those off. We needed like spooky sleeves for Tony's arms.
I get this in shot like behind you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And we didn't have like a long sleeve black t-shirt to give him, so I just gave him some like black legging things that were in the bag of Halloween stuff to use instead. Yeah. It's pretty funny. But yeah, your birthday
is tomorrow.
Is the day before Halloween.
It is.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year. Not just this year. Because Halloween doesn't move.
This is my birthday.
Yeah. Well, if you were born on a leap year, it would. But you're not, because you're not born in February.
No, sorry. I was born on a leap year, but I wasn't.
I was almost born on a leap year. I was on February 23rd. So I was actually pretty close.
If I was born in 96, it would be a leap year.
But some of the stuff on top's kind of similar last year because I think the skulls are a lot smaller. I just noticed the crow. The crow's a new addition.
Yeah,
you've got a broken down tree in honor of my tree being cut down. Of course.
My mum made that.
These are kind of like these ones are kind of like Jack Skellington. That's kind of like a Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes,
almost looking one. Do you like that film? Is it a Christmas film or a Halloween film?
I don't know. I get weirded out every time I try and watch either of them.
So
I think it's an okay film.
I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, I think, either last Halloween or last Christmas, and I was like, I remembered it being really good, but then I watched it without the nostalgia goggles, and I was like, this is a really long film.
I think it's alright, but it is long, yeah. I don't remember most of it.
They said there's about 15 firefighters outside getting worried. What if I set on fire? Oh, shit.
Right, a candle, I mean...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So were these things? These were meant to be eyes. It kind of looks like a mummy to me.
It is a mummy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were going for. Okay. See, I got that. That's how good a cake is.
There are meant to be. I couldn't.
You gave me a cross spread of the last one. We didn't get a cross spread of this one. Have you?
Or from the top, or
you should you cut it and you showed the inside.
Oh, yeah, we haven't cut it yet.
Oh, okay. You haven't.
Cutting it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
There's 6 other skulls as well, but it doesn't fit on the cake. But they're like a lot bigger than that small skull.
Also, this I noticed. Your kitchen looks a lot more built.
Well, the last time you saw it, it's been built for a couple of years now.
I haven't seen it in a couple.
No,
of
I
years.
know, but as you can see in the reflection, it's a big old orangery or
the tangerine.
Yeah, it's basically just a proper roofed conservatory, really. Like it's got proper walls and proper roof.
I was like, damn, that's you got like a wine rack. You got like
a
nice cooker.
There's actually more wine racks. There's a wine rack here. Like I can't see it, but like right in front of the cake, basically.
Yeah,
then one on the other side.
You're pointing, but no one can see your arm. Okay,
that's
just
fine.
so you
I'm
know.
just trying to. In front of the cake is like.
I can use the mouse to show.
Yeah, about there, where you just like. A bit behind actually, but is where another wine rack is. Then directly on the other side of the island is another wine rack.
Okay, well, we'll move on. Tony's spooky cake. We'll talk about what I've been playing this week.
Apparently, I took the picture at 10 o'clock exactly. So
I have some B-roll I've recorded, so I can show you.
I'm gonna put spooky as the first timestamp. Is that fine?
Sure. So it's if you don't know what I've been playing this week, I've got to mute it because Dave's talking in it. I always record Dave without telling him. That's how you get the release forms. You just don't tell. That's actually when I was doing media studies at university, they were like, the best thing to do is just record someone and then ask for a release afterwards, and then they'll probably say yes. Like that's legit. Oh my god, you can't see me anymore because of how dark it is. But hang on, I can counteract this. There we go. So I'm playing Adam, the new character from the Spirit. Dave's playing Bill from Left 4 Dead, who is a character.
So what was this game called?
Dead by Daylight.
Not the Dying Light. Not Dying
Light.
No,
we always get those two confused specifically because they're so similarly named. But you see Michael Myers from Halloween is there. There's a lot of licensed characters in there, and you have like all the licensed characters. So you have like Freddy, Michael Myers. What's his name? Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
You have all the big names.
Yeah. I've never watched any of these films, but I do know of them.
But then they were like, well, let's get Jason Voorhees, from Friday the 13th. And then the Friday the 13th was like, no, we're going to rip off Dead by Daylight and make our own game. Because there's now a game called Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to quickly go over... during the Halloween event, there's these pustule things, and you collect them and you fill a vial on the screen.
Yeah,
look up here. And what they've done is they made a bunch of Halloween cosmetics that are really cool. I don't know if you want to see them. I can maybe get a picture of them.
I want to see some cool... I love Halloween. More Halloween.
Would you say Halloween's your favourite time of year?
Yeah, for sure.
Because for me, it's definitely Christmas. I would go hard on Christmas.
Yeah, I like Christmas a lot as well, but Halloween more so. Like, I put decorations up for Halloween as well as Christmas. So. I bought like spooky bookends and some goblets this year. They haven't come yet, but
I'll just quickly
switcheroono.
Swapperoonie. Wait, is this a good video? All right, well, this guy's video, you can have a look. What the fuck is? I thought on the thumbnail he shows off the things. This is probably posted before the fucking video. Okay, well, I'm going back to the footage until I find that one. But you collect these files and then
you just find an image.
They've allowed so you can. The way it works, I think they added cosmetics like 3 months ago, maybe. So there hasn't actually been like that many cosmetics in the game for that long. I think it came out like 2016 or something. And then what they're to do is if you play the event and you either unlock vials by gathering them from plants in games and filling up a vial, and then you can play killer and hook survivors on special nectar hooks to fill up your vial. You can now buy 2 full cosmetics for free just by playing through the event and getting these vials, which is really cool. They also originally it was you could get 1 outfit by playing killer and 1 by playing survivor. People were saying that some people only play 1, so they changed that requirement. Originally, you were only be able to get 1 outfit, and immediately they went, okay, you can now get 2 outfits completely for free.
Yeah.
Which was really cool of them. And I'll try and get a picture of the Doctor.
Doctor is OP, apparently.
He's not.
According to that Google search, he is. Well,
his Halloween outfit. So I had to get his Halloween outfit because it was so fucking cool. It's called like the Blight or something. Dead by Daylight. Hallowed Blight, I think, is the name. Oh, here's some pictures. There's like the Huntress. Cool. This is the Trapper. Yeah, this is Claudette's outfit, and this is Dwight's outfit. They're kind of like doctors.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Oh, now this is an amazing fucking outfit. Look how cool he is.
Pretty great.
Look. Oh, here's a better picture. But he has like his intestines coming out of the skin, and it's all animated and stuff in the game.
That is so cool,
and it looks really cool.
I was annoyed because like I already like Halloween content. I'm then annoyed that you then can't get it when it's not Halloween.
Well, they do it with everything, don't they?
Yeah, I just don't like it. I like it when you can just get everything all the time, and then they add more stuff when it's the next festival or whatever you're doing. So that's just my person. It's just like a small gripe, I guess, with like every game ever.
Beware, do 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 do. Goosebumps.
We were gonna play either like Spooky Scary Skeletons or
Goosebumps. I thought after I died, I said, Tony, you need to do a dance to Spooky Scary Skeletons in honor of the Spooky Scary Skeletons. And he said, no, I don't dance. And I said, well then, you have to do number 2, which is do the world's longest dab.
I said that I don't think the internet wants to see me dance, and I'm not dabbing.
Okay.
Those are the two requirements, but not requirements.
I always find it annoying when you're watching like a YouTube video and they have B-roll, and it goes on for a while, but then they stop talking before you see the end of the B-roll. That really annoys me. So I'll show you what happens in the match.
You saying that like no, at Toe Biscuit you used to have like like at the end of the mailbox, like I'll show you the whole thing because you probably want to see it.
Yeah. Here's Dave saving me. What a good guy. I get attacked back by Myers. I'm dead, but I spectate, and I'm watching these two. I think they escape in this. I think escape. Oh, I don't know. Maybe this is a different one. Maybe. Oof. Well, I don't know what's going to happen.
That's spooky.
They might die. Oh, they lost this one. Unlucky.
So you died first, or?
Yeah, I died first, and I was spectating.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Unlucky.
I always root for the bad guy though, so it's probably not unlucky to me. What a great cake!
What a cracking cake!
You can't really see it in this shop, but there's like
Why do I have this? I closed it. Anyway,
you can't see in that cake shop. There's like I did like a little grave as well, but
okay. Well, you only gave me one photo. You didn't even give me the crossbred.
I did it before I went to work. So
anyway, so it's just been announced. Super Meat Boy now has the original Super Meat Boy now has DLC for it for its 8th anniversary called Super Meat Boy Race Mode, which adds split screen local co-op races, so you and your friends can race through the original Super Meat Boy levels. I don't know if there's try our Artisan Race Mode chapter hand, forged by some of the most sadistic lunatics in the wonderful Super Meat Boy world. Okay, so they've created. There's some more levels. There's like a featured chapter.
Yeah, is this the first DLC for this game?
Super Meat Boy doesn't have any DLC.
Oh, okay.
Some people are saying make it online. That's what I was thinking, but it is split screen local co-op in current year.
Yeah, but netcode is, if you don't have any experience,
netcode is very hard to do.
Even like trying to create with like Steam servers and things, it's kind of difficult apparently.
But yeah, this is just trail. At the moment, we're doing trailers and some quick news. I thought this would have a trailer, but it just has 2 pictures. So here's the store page for it.
There's the price.
So we got an announcement on October 23rd, which was 6 days ago, so almost a week ago, and they said they were doing the Abyss update, and I saw the green. I was like, "This is a spooky ghost update. There's going to be ghosts in space now."
Spooky No
And then
Man's Sky.
they released a trailer literally today. This is Soul Calibur. I thought I had. Okay. I don't have the trailer where I thought it was.
You
so
sent me the trailer.
I just didn't.
There's a trailer.
Oh, I didn't click on it because I didn't see it. I had the trailer. I had the trailer in the Google Doc, but
In a separate link.
I'll move it over now.
No Man's Sky version 1.7.
So
1.7 already. Wow.
So it turns out it's just Scuffed Subnautica. No Man's Subnautica.
Spooky No Man's Subnautica, yeah.
So what they've done is, I think they've completely overhauled all of the underwater biomes. There's new foliage. There's new underwater bases.
I think you can build
You
these
can have
as well.
indoor aquariums, and it looks.
Oh my God,
it's
that's
starting to look
amazing.
exactly like Subnautica.
Well, it's not as good, but...
They've updated how the submarine works.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a completely free update following the summer update, which added the multiplayer, of course. So this is pretty cool to see. I said we'll have to see what No Man's Sky's like if it gets enough updates to make it a good game.
Yeah.
You said,
I'm still annoyed at the start how annoying upgrading to having inventory slots
Sean
is.
Murray didn't do a team on you. He kept working on the game and
it's-
actually pioneered to get something working, which is, although not the best way to do it, it's still admirable to keep going.
Yeah. Much like well, not exactly the same. I was gonna say like Warframe kind of had like it was okay on release and then it got even better, whereas No Man's Sky was shit on release, but then became.
But yeah,
good.
this is a free update. It looks pretty cool. So we'll move on to the next track. If you want to watch that, it's up on No Man's Sky's channel, and I think there's one on the PlayStation 4 channel as well. Next one, Soul Calibur. So Soul Calibur 6 came out recently. It came out with Geralt from The Witcher as a playable character and a character creation screen.
Oh
And
yeah,
lots of people have been making like fighters with giant dicks on them, obviously.
yeah,
And like
that's been...
people on Twitch have been making Doctor Disrespect and going around fighting other people as Doctor Disrespect.
yeah.
But they've made an official character now, and it is of course Near Tomato.
Nier Automata.
Near Tomatoes.
2B.
It's 2B. So there's some story bullshit no one cares about.
Yeah, no one. I don't think anyone cares, do they?
And then it's 2B. 2But.
I like. To be fair, I don't care about the story, but it's hilarious to see how stupid the story is. I'll say that.
It's like what's that? Not Final Fantasy. Kingdom Hearts has the most ridiculous story
Yeah.
ever. Have you seen Donkey's video on Kingdom Hearts where he's trying to
Yeah.
explain the story?
To be fair, I think Final Fantasy has a ridiculous story as well. Though.
I think
both of them
Kingdom
are
Hearts
crazy.
takes the cake. Honestly, from what I've seen of it.
It depends what Final Fantasy
It's
we're
like,
talking about.
let's take the Disney IP, but then
Yeah.
make no sense with terrible Japanese writing. It's pretty much the Kingdom Hearts formula.
And you may. I've never played it, so I don't really understand what the story is. So
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6 looks good. I'm not a big fighting games guy, but I know there's other people out there.
I'm gonna be picking this one up
I
when I get home.
I had Soul Calibur 5 actually. My
So do
my friend gave it to me. She was like,
Oh, what?
I never play this, and I was like, do you want it? And I was like,
Oh, Geralt.
yeah,
Hello.
Geralt's in the
Is
game.
he got a bath move?
I don't know what
Please
his
tell
fighting
me.
set is. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is the. Okay, that's cover that up. That's not safe.
It did warn you at the beginning, Joe.
Did it?
Partial nudity.
Ah, shit. Well, guys, I'll see you on YouTube next week. Okay, so moving on to the next trailer. The next trailer is for Ukulele. There's now a 64-bit Tonic. If you don't know, Tonic's changed the way the game looks, I believe, or plays. This is their emulation of trying to make it like a Nintendo 64 game, like the original Banjo-Kazooie. That's just a video showing that off. It was just a short little video. I thought I'd throw it in the beginning. People were saying it looks more like a PS1 game than a 64 game, and I think I'd agree with that.
To be fair, it probably would have been ported to 64 stuff as well, though. So I don't know.
Would you ever use something that every time I see these, I'm like, this is cool, but I can't
It
think
gets
of a single
annoying.
person I know that would actually use this.
It doesn't. It depends how good it is. Like if you made it so like it actually made the aesthetic really work, then fair enough. But
it's like Spotlight last week. We had Hyper Sentinel,
yeah.
and you can go into Commodore 64 mode, and which you liked a lot.
I liked it better than that, but I still say it's still not perfect for like It's still
and we
it's
have
good,
a Spotlight that'll be coming up soon, where it's a platformer where the entire thing is you can change the art style of the game on the fly. We've got a bunch of demos ready to record, and we'll be doing that sometime next week. So we'll get some more Spotlights up. But that's interesting. I always think it's interesting when you can play games in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think this is like a really weak version.
This is. I wonder if this probably actually improves in performance, right? Like, I wonder
it
if
depends how it's doing
does the low spec gamer have a video on ukulele and does it look like this?
It depends how it's doing it though.
Let me look this up.
If it's having to put, it might be putting more load on the CPU but taking it off the GPU or something.
Okay, yeah, no, that's not low spec gamer. Oh, I don't think he has one. Okay, well, this is probably what it like. One of my favorite videos for low spec gamer is where he does Portal.
Yeah,
and he makes Portal look like Minecraft. If you don't
it's
know,
a pretty good one. I think my actual favorite one is like when it's like showing how moddable Doom is for how you can make it go all the way down. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Portal one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So there's a low spec gamer on YouTube if you want to watch his stuff, because it's either like you have a terrible PC and you want to use the low spec games videos to help you run things.
Yeah.
Or I'm kind of in this camp where I think seeing games at the absolute lowest is fucking hilarious and it's very good entertainment.
I like just seeing stuff without shadows. It's very entertaining.
So we'll move on to the last trailer of this week, which is a big one. This is Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales. If you don't know, CJ Projekt Red is making a standalone game for Gwent, and it's kind of like a story thing as well. So there's going to be a story that you're going to play through and do you're going to go through villages and gather resources, and then I think the main gameplay is kind of like Gwent.
Oh, okay.
I don't really understand, but
I feel like we haven't seen enough to know what you're actually going to be doing.
I've heard from so this is kind of like what you do in the world,
right?
And then you go into like a Gwent game, and I've heard that it's more like puzzles. And from what I've seen of people talking about it, it's more like there's a new mode in Hearthstone where it's like a puzzle, and you have to figure out how to kill your opponent,
like a
or
challenge.
how to stay alive.
It's like a challenge match against the AI with a very specific way of defeating them, or multiple ways of defeating them, but they have a specific gimmick.
Yeah,
like a boss or something.
But this looks pretty good. So Gwent's free to play, but this is about 20 quid, I think. But it's like a full standalone game, and it has like a story, and you like have a camp where you upgrade stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then you train cards and stuff and upgrade them and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And then it ties back into Gwent.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
I still want to see how that actually interacts properly.
It's another game from CJ Projekt Red.
Yeah.
So
I'll pick it up for sure. So.
Safe to say, it's probably going to be good. I personally have played Gwent. Have you played? So this is where Gwent comes in.
Yeah, I haven't played Gwent.
And you see how the cards are laid out in like a puzzle where you have to kill monsters and stuff.
I've watched Gwent a little bit. I still haven't played it though.
There's some cool animations now.
Yeah.
Some people complain that they've dumbed it down a lot. Like there's a lot of mechanics in it, and they've tried to make it more accessible to a larger audience, which isn't a bad thing necessarily.
I think they are going back to make it a little bit more complicated.
Right. I also saw someone was called Reynad in it, and I don't know if that was like Reynad the Hearthstone player.
Or an actual character.
Or it's just someone that happened to have the same name as him.
I don't know where the name Reynad comes from, so...
I don't know. I think he's originally from Eastern Europe, so...
Well, that's where
CJ Projekt Red GOG is in Poland. There's a great no-clip documentary on GOG about how they took like a country that was notorious for like pirating all their games and then made like a successful DRM-free business where they're like, well, people will pay for games if they're DRM free,
and they've been made to work properly.
And
in the region.
they can support old titles and bring in.
Well, especially if you're doing it professionally, you can translate it properly as well. So it is counter piracy is always better.
Was it last week or the week before we were talking about how CJ Projekt Red was getting sued by the person who wrote The Witcher? So this is another game that he's probably going to try and sue them for.
There's no story though, so.
Okay, so moving to the first topic, and it's some very sad, more sad than Tony dying on the Indian burial ground. Team Sonic Racing has been delayed to 2019. As you know, the best game of all time is Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. And they announced the very successful the very successful sequel from the original Sonic Racing R is now Team Sonic Racing has been delayed, and they've cited...
It's no Sonic Boom.
No, that was a masterpiece. But they've said it's being delayed to May 21st, 2019, and it's to enhance gameplay. They said it wasn't up to the standards of Sumo Digital. And if you don't know, Sumo Digital are the people who made the original... They made the original Dead Island, I believe, Sumo Digital. It's so weird. The people who made Dead Island made Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. I always find it hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Day says rest in peace. But it will be coming. So I think some people were annoyed by the amount of content, because when I saw the E3 one trailer, there was no additional characters. They said it was just the Sonic universe. So there's no, for example, like Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed, you had TF2, Captain Winter from Company of Heroes, Wreck-It Ralph, of course, everyone's favourite character.
Kanye's favourite series.
And The Glitch.
It's in my code.
They had a bunch of licensed characters in the game, and it made it really cool.
I feel like it got added over time, I think. Or was it? It wasn't all there from the start, was it? A lot of it was.
They had everyone's favourite YouTuber Yogscast as a DLC that you had to buy.
Did they? Wow.
They had 2 DLCs. There was Ryu from Street Fighter, which was free. That wasn't one of them. There was Metal Sonic, and then it was one of the race courses backwards. So we can just do it backwards, and it's a new race course. And then the other DLC was Yogscast, and I think it was for charity. And I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But Andy, my friend Andy, he has Yogscast DLC. So every time we're on Sonic, he plays the Yogscast.
The Yogscast man.
Jesse Cox is also a runner on speedruns as a DLC, and Dodger.
That makes sense. They play those games. So.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the emotional, sad news.
The main news.
Recently, Total Biscuit is being added into the eSports Hall of Fame. He will be the first non-player to be inducted into the eSports Hall of Fame. He's being inducted for his shoutcasting work on stuff like StarCraft, which is really cool, at ESL 1 in Hamburg.
He also managed a team for a bit.
Yeah, he owned a StarCraft team.
Yeah, he owned and managed a team
he had a Korean team, didn't he?
Yeah, they were Korean. And he had difficulty getting visas and things to get them over because there wasn't proper sports visas for esports.
Yeah. But that's changed a bit now since
it's a lot better now.
League of Legends, LCS franchise, and the Overwatch League and stuff.
After Riot and a load of other
Blizzard.
Yeah.
After they Blizzard games.
After they get annoyed, then the law kind of changes when big money gets thrown around.
Yep.
Especially for sports-based things like arenas and things.
I thought that was cool to see. Big fan of Total Biscuit. Sadly, you went. So this is literally as I was doing the podcast. This appeared. We now have the lineup for the PlayStation Classic. So if you hadn't seen the news before, they're making a PlayStation Classic. They pretty much ripped off Nintendo's SNES Classic.
Exactly.
And we have the full list of titles of PlayStation 1 games that are going to be emulated on this classic console. So we have Battle Arena Toshinden. I'm not going to know most of these. Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy 7, Grand Theft Auto, I guess that's 1.
Yeah.
Intelligent Quabe? I don't know.
Cube, I guess.
Cube?
I don't
Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, that's a fan favourite. Mr. Driller, Oddworld Abe Odyssey, that's got a cult following. Rayman, of course, cult classic.
The problem with Oddworld is that the remake or the remastered version is so good. I don't think the original can...
Well, I definitely think this is definitely nostalgia based.
Yeah,
100%.
For sure. Tekken 3 as well, the old fighting games and things. And the old Rainbow Six.
Resident Evil Director's Cut. Revelations. Persona, Ridge Racer 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal.
Well,
Wild Arms.
Before, when they listed like only 3, I only knew one of them.
This might be a video where it shows us all these. Yeah, okay. Maybe I should have played the video while I did this. But there you go. It is the original.
I know half of these now, since they're just 1/3 of what they were announced. So
This is probably hard to see.
we're gonna get copy because I feel like that's a licensed
Are you
music.
copy striked?
I feel that's
I could
licensed.
turn them in. You hum some music. Hang on, I got some different. Well, we've already used copyright music.
Do you think? I don't think anyone's making sure to see Goosebumps isn't being used.
Oh my fucking! Every time I move my head, my Captain Jack Bow dreads go everywhere. This game's actually looks kind of cool. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Just get a Raspberry Pi and put an emulator on it, and it will do whatever you want. And you don't have to spend 130 quid on it. Was it 130 quid? I think it said it. Oh, it's launched. So it's $100.
You're in for a scare.
Okay, let's turn that off. It's $100 retail price, and it's launching.
Okay,
on...
sorry. I was getting confused by the dates. That's the 3rd of December.
It's the American date.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting. It's the 3rd of December this year. It's coming out.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much been like, buy this as a Christmas present for your kids or as nostalgia bait. But we'll move on to the next topic, which is.
Before we carry on, are they going to actually stock this properly?
No.
Or are they going to do a Nintendo?
They're going to do a Nintendo
because they're crazy Japanese people.
Oh, I've heard. I was reading about this, but I didn't write it down in time. I heard that like Sony's moved their capital to America. They've moved their like company to America now, and they're forcing like all the Japanese people to censor their games, even in Japan.
What?
Like they always censor the Japanese games for the American market anyway.
Yeah.
But they're now forcing them to censor them in Japan, and because you have like the Japanese version usually of like these old Japanese titles.
Yeah.
And now they're also like another thing that I read was like they were forcing them to talk to Sony in English. Like they wouldn't accept Japanese and translate it. All like communication stuff had to be in English. They had to read it out in English.
I think they just have multilingual aliens or something. They don't understand that you can't just do that. It's just crazy.
It was like crazy what's going on at Sony at the moment. So maybe this is a forecast of things to come. Fuck it, rip off Nintendo's Switch nostalgia bait. Let's get a bunch of money.
Why not?
Fuck it, let's give them cross-platform play for Fortnite. It can't hurt.
No, they need to choose them specifically, Joe. That's what they said before.
Okay. Well, move on. PlayStation Classic is a thing that exists.
We're not getting it.
No. So Capcom is bringing multiple fan favorites to Nintendo Switch. Resident Evil and Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 4 will be launching on the Nintendo Switch in 2019. And this makes me ask the question, is Resident Evil 4 the most ported game of all time? You know what the answer is to that question? I think Classic Tetris is the most ported game of all time.
Then it's followed by Skyrim.
But
then it's Resident Evil 4.
How many consoles do you think you can name that Resident Evil has been ported to?
Almost like across like 3 generations, right?
I had Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. I'll give you that clue.
I had it on PlayStation 2. So.
Okay.
I can count in my head like at least 6.
Okay. Because someone was making a list and they said it was made by the Zebo, and I was like, what the fuck is a Zebo? So I was looking this up, and I clicked on the wrong screen. And apparently the Zebo
this shitty thing
is a 3G enabled entertainment and education system, which is like specifically in Brazil and Mexico, and it's meant to be like a games console and like an internet package thing,
right?
Because it has like 3G on it, so it was meant to be like you could use the internet and you can run educational things. But it actually got a port, and I saw a video for it, and it looks terrible. Like
even worse than
this is Resident Evil 4 on the Zebo.
Oh my god.
Listen to that music. Hang on.
I love how abrupt it is. Like, no, it's cool. I mean,
Get to that sweet gameplay.
I mean, this is already worse than the. Oh my god.
Now this is some sick gameplay. Look at this.
Worse.
Because
than
it was also
PlayStation
ported.
2.
Recently, Resident Evil games were ported to arcade cabinets as well. I think Resident Evil 4 was definitely had an arcade version, and this is probably the worst looking version I've seen out of all of them so far.
My god, it's so like the FPS is bad. The menus are bad.
There's poor people in Mexico and Brazil that played.
The sound is clipping.
And they're like, Timmy, I got you a new console. And it's like, what is it? And it's like, it's a Zebo. And you can play your Resident Evil games on it.
Shoot zombies. They look
when
like. Why are they blue?
When I make discoveries about amazing things that I didn't know exist, like the Zebo console and mouse bungees, and I wonder why they exist, I like to bring light to them. Oh, and also anything RGB, such as an RGB mouse pad or RGB RAM or something that just doesn't need to exist.
We need a soundboard.
RGB cup holders.
We need a soundboard thing for like things that shouldn't exist or something, or things we don't understand.
Things that shouldn't exist.
Things make you go, oh wait, that's brainiac.
Things that confuse Joe.
Things that confuse Joe.
Sneaky in cosplay. Things
What?
that confuse Joe.
Oh.
The League of Legends players that dresses up as a girl on his cosplays.
I mean, pull it off. I'll give it to him.
Yeah. Anyway, quick pieces of news now. YouTube now has a trending section for live streams. You can now go to live, and so there's specific sections for each now. So there's live, there's music, there's gaming, there's news, and there's films.
I like how gaming has its own tab. It's so big.
Well, it's Fortnite videos. It's just Fortnite.
It is now.
Oh, and Roblox, of course. This is what kids play: Fortnite and Roblox.
God. That is awful.
What is this? Minecraft? No, it's some other game. Okay.
Wait, that's Secret Neighbor.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's
like some sort of Halloween update.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I was like, I know exactly what's going to be on the live tab without clicking it. It's going to be illegal restreams of like SpongeBob or The Simpsons. It's going to be what other cancer is on YouTube Live.
Yeah, but
it's going to be...
They curate the trending.
It's going to be someone clickbaiting Fortnite.
Yeah. Korean stuff.
Yeah. What else is that? Oh, the baby things.
Yeah.
The family... the Peppa Pig full English episodes. Fortnite. Lo-fi hip-hop. That's another one people seem to fucking love watching. Joe Rogan streaming at the moment.
Sky News.
Oh, Toy Baby Boss cartoon for kids. Will I get striked if I click on this? I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting to see. Even spookier news: DayZ still exists. I
was going to say before we go from YouTube though, they made a statement about like they didn't like was it Article 13?
Right.
They said like they were basically.
What else did you? We'll talk about YouTube quickly. You can now premiere videos.
Oh yes, that's also news.
You can now upload your video onto YouTube, and then it will live stream as if it's a video, similar to how Twitch does premieres.
But I was going to say for Article 11 and 13, I'm glad that people like Google effectively is like saying like we don't like it. So at least there's big companies saying they don't like it, which is good.
You can't ban the memes, man.
No, that's what YouTube's saying. They're supporting the memes.
Spooky news. Dean Hall abandoned this project and left everyone fucked who paid for DayZ. Ooh. Anyway, but now they've announced they're releasing the DayZ server files, so now anyone can host their own DayZ server, which is cool news.
People still want to play this?
Yeah, there's people who still like playing DayZ. They have made a lot of updates to it. I've heard. I think it's still in early access somehow. I bought it. I actually bought DayZ when it was in early access like 3 years ago or something.
Really?
Like
Jesus.
that. Well, I have a friend and he said you should buy it now while it's in cheap and early access, and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Isn't that why I said about Space Engineers? And
You
had
said
the money.
about Space Engineers. You said, "Should I get a Space Engineers game?" And you said, "How much is it?" I said, £17. He said, "How much do you have in your wallet?" And I was like, "I got £17 in my Steam wallet." He's like, "Well,
Destiny waits.
Destiny," and I got fucking baited so hard that I couldn't refund it.
It wasn't even refunds at the time.
So we'll move on to the next topic, which is the September update for System Shock Kickstarter, and they've said that they're going back to using the original textures.
Oh, okay.
They're going to try and make it look like how their game originally looked, rather than trying to push to a different texture style.
Yeah.
And they originally had. Some people were upset about the art change direction of the game.
Yeah.
I thought this was on hold. So has this officially come off? You said that the Kickstarter for System Shock had gone onto hold.
Yeah, then it came out of it.
So now it's back, I guess?
Yeah, which is what I suspected, is that someone would pull some stuff. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, to be honest.
I can't fucking see because it's eye patch what the next news topic is. Lord of the Rings Online.
Which still exists.
Hang on. The fucking Blue is buzzing for some reason. I don't know how to fix it. It always goes away randomly, doesn't it?
It's only slight, to be fair, but which probably means it'll be there for a while, then it eventually goes.
If this is annoying you, I'm sorry. And please send a message to @BlueYeti. I assume they have a Twitter account. And say, why the fuck does this happen? Anyway, if it's too painful for me to go on, tell me in the chat if you're listening. Okay, it's gone, thank God. I hope some of that footage was usable, that had the buzzing on it. So Lord of the Rings Online, it's been going on for a really fucking long time. I think it went free to play as well. I've actually heard so much good things about Lord of the Rings Online. I heard
people like it.
It was actually like a legit MMO.
Yeah.
And what they're doing now is they're doing a progressive server announced. So temper yourself, WoW's getting classic servers. There's RuneScape 2007 Scape, right?
Wait, what?
That's what the cool kids call it. I know you're not one of the cool kids. This is not a classic server.
No.
They are not playing on a previous patch. It's the current version of the game, but the level cap's going from 120 to 50 at the start, as it normally was. And currently they plan to increase it every 4 months, and they will steadily release content. So there's still going to be like stuff from the modern game on the modern patch, but it's kind of like they're rolling back the story so people can relive it.
The maps and
So it's not like a classic server like some people may have wanted.
We don't know if they do or not.
Well, I mainly put this down because I was like, it's nice to see another MMO getting like a progressive server.
To be fair, people like Dodgy Kebaba, like, I understand, like, why can't we have like the good features that don't impede on the old gameplay, like better UI and stuff in in the old patches of classic WoW.
Well,
I personally would agree with.
At the moment, what they've shown off from the classic demo is it's running on the Legion engine, I believe. It's not on the BFA engine. But
okay. So it's all a relatively new engine.
Some people are already complaining. They're like that you can now use the new graphic settings.
Yeah.
They've made a classic mode, so you can push it back to like how it looked back in the day.
I think that's the correct move to make, though.
But now, because they had to change some stuff, like they had to move some buttons around because the way the website works is different now.
Yeah.
And there's like more advanced texture options and stuff, and lighting and stuff for from the newer game. The UI is a bit different from the newer game.
Having better UI is always like, you shouldn't go back just because you remember the old UI.
But there's a lot of people pissed off about any changes.
There will be, yeah. They need to take off in my opinion, they need to take off their rose tinted.
Well, some people, because you're going to be able to play it, I think, like just before BlizzCon, which is this weekend, November 2nd. And speaking of BlizzCon, we saw Diablo was getting an announcement at BlizzCon. Everyone's like, it's Diablo 4, it's DLC for Diablo 3, they're going to make a new character or some shit. And pretty much Blizzard just said, we know people are talking about a new title for Diablo, pretty much fuck you, nothing's coming at BlizzCon. Stop getting hyped. They've pretty much just stomped on everyone's hopes and dreams, and they've killed the hype. So they're probably just going to talk about the Nintendo Switch announcement, which nobody cared about. Not me, at least.
Yeah, it's playing. I mean, I could understand. I don't know. Is there a crossover if people want to play Diablo on the go? I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're like, the Nintendo Switch version doesn't have crossplay. With none of the versions have crossplay.
And you know what the game's already is. So.
And they said they had no plans to do crossplay.
There's not really any point showing off the Switch version at BlizzCon. Really?
But they just said they're primarily going to focus on the Switch version of the game, and they're not ready to unveil
any other projects
yet. So.
If there even are any.
I think so. Some conspiracy theorists are going to say conspiracy theory. Ooh, you need the soundboard.
Yeah, we
some conspiracy theorists will say they're anti-hyping the hype to make the announcement of Diablo 4
make more hype.
Even more hype.
But then they go.
Do you remember when WoW Classic was announced? Nobody knew it was coming, and then it just came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "Fuck yeah!" But I think those people are wearing may they doth tinfoil hats, because that sounds really stupid. That
I think they just
companies have lied. Actually, didn't
overstretching.
Didn't Ubisoft lie and say?
Oh yeah.
That
it was last year's E3.
What was the game called? It's the French one. Beyond Good and Evil 2. They said it's definitely not coming out, and then E3 came and they're like, Beyond Good and Evil's coming out.
Yeah.
And I think Jim was pissed off about them for lying.
Yeah, I think
in order to like anti-hype,
they threw some
hype.
They threw some journalists under the bus to make them.
Okay.
So for a couple of weeks, they got kind of shit on, and like, actually, no, it's actually that information was correct.
Move on to the main topic: Steam and VR news. If you don't know yet, the Steam Halloween sale is on. It just started today, October 29th. It'll be going to November 1st. That's not a lot of time, actually. That's until Thursday. So
yeah, it doesn't. Really
is it just like horror games that are on sale?
Generally, yes.
Okay. It just seemed because I have horror excluded from my tags. So it's like you can't see any of these games. They're too spooky for you. Oh, some people are getting pissed off about Shadow of the Tomb Raider because it like immediately went on sale like after launch.
Right. When did it come out?
Not that long ago, even. Let me have a look.
Yeah, no, but
I feel like it's long time.
Peggy 18.
A little bit
14th
close.
of September.
Yeah, you still play it early, so I don't know.
I think it might be getting review bombed because of it. Let me have a look. I need to take my iPad off to read. I need to use my real eyes to read. Not only you charge us in the
early sales
for paying it 2 days, but you have a effing balls to cut the price of 34% a month and a half after release. So
I don't see it.
People are actually like super pissed off that they did it cheaper than the pre-order bonus, like a month after it released.
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
All I'm thinking is, once again, never pre-order a game. There's no reason to.
You have to. You can't get annoyed at what it is. Like, you either enjoyed it or you didn't, and you bought it early. Like, it's none of your business at the point of this anymore.
Let's have a look. What spooky games does Joe recommend? I hate playing spooky games, but I like playing multiplayer spooky games. I found out. So there's a new update for Graveyard Keeper. I saw this. You can now. It's like a little indie game about. I think it's Tiny Build that does it. Yeah, Tiny Build publishes it, and it's about like running a little graveyard.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember.
And I think there's now a table where you can reanimate people and get them to do tasks around the graveyard for you. And it sounds kind of like modern Minecraft in a way. I thought you'd be interested.
Yeah, it looks really cool. How much was it?
It's on sale at the moment for £11.
Okay, I'll look into it.
I'd 100% recommend Dead by Daylight, which you saw earlier.
Vermintide.
Why is Rocket League in the spooky sale?
It's got a spooky update, Joe.
I guess. Dead by Daylight, huge. Recommend. The Forest, I'd recommend as well.
Wait, is it grayed out a game you own?
Is
it grayed out a game you own?
Yeah, because I've excluded it. It does that. If you've excluded a game, you can't like search for it on the store. Even if you own it.
I can pre-order. Wait.
Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition.
Okay. The one I don't have. As well as...
Oh! Speaking of things that can happen soon, is a weird segue. But I'm about to get the. I looked on Steam, and the last time I played the Stanley Parable was 2013, October 28th or 27th or something.
Right.
There's an achievement for not playing the Stanley Parable for 5 years.
Okay.
And I can now get that achievement if I log in. I don't want to do it too early and fuck it up, but I think within the next couple of days I'll log into the Stanley Parable and I'll get that achievement.
I'll be honest with you, I think you can cheat it.
No, but I think like a couple weeks ago was the first time you could legitimately
earn
it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't cheat achievements, Tony. Not since the TFT
Is it
days.
cheating for just changing your clock on your computer?
Yes. Why would you do that?
Or is it to get the achievement?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything if you do that.
It doesn't mean anything anyway, it's just an achievement.
It's like winning the Olympics with drugs.
Not really. In a way, it's because Stanley Parable was such a weird game.
Don't dope up and do the Olympics.
It's also
don't dope up your achievements. Earn them by not playing a game for 5 years.
What about the one?
The Stanley Parable has amazing achievements. Like play the Stanley Parable for the entirety of a Tuesday.
Yeah,
is like another one.
Yeah, which people did by cheating as well.
But I'm not going to.
I was gonna say it's similar to like the what's the Paralympics? Like
the disabled Olympics, the Paralympics. What about it?
There was like a team doing, I think, basketball who weren't only one of them
wasn't doping.
No, they weren't disabled at all.
Oh, okay.
Only one of them was.
Oh, they were like ringers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get like promotional for like a countrywide charity, basically.
Yeah, there was that weird thing where you see like a viral video and it's like, oh, it's an advertisement for glue sticks. And it's like, how is that an advertisement for glue sticks? How is that video of like a hamster doing a dab like an advertisement for glue sticks? It's like, who made the marketing campaign for this? Because this doesn't make me want to buy glue sticks.
No, but lots of people saw it, Joe.
So it's good for the company.
Some people might get glue sticks.
Alright, fuck that. Steam's having a spooky sale on Halloween. Buy some games if you want. It's really negotiable. I'm not threatening.
You don't have to buy.
I am a spooky pirate, but I'm not threatening.
It's a very small sword.
There's also a GOG sale as well, and you can. We talked about earlier. I forgot to mention Gwent Thronebreaker, only available on the GOG store on PC. So if you want to get the new the Witcher Tales Gwent game, you have to get it on GOG.
That's not a bad thing.
And also, Project Warlock is a new game that came out that's exclusive on the GOG store.
Oh, okay.
That I was thinking about picking up, maybe picking up, doing a spotlight on, because it looks like something I'd really enjoy playing.
Okay.
And
I forgot about
yeah. And we've already seen some games announced exclusively on the Discord store, so we'll have to see how that goes on.
Yeah.
But Steam's popularity has gone huge numbers now since Tencent's lost all of its stock and China's freezing all new games into approval. If you don't know what the hell's going on in China, nobody else really does.
Ask a Chinese man. Or woman.
What's going on is that in August, they froze all new games that came in.
Yeah.
Because China has this weird ethical social policy thing where they're like...
You can't show skulls, you can't show blood.
Yeah.
You can't show something else, and you can't show something else.
They have strict ethical and social policy.
Yeah.
They had to make sure they did a change of the government, and they had to make sure all of their games were adhering to their new guidelines.
They don't like games that show you taking over a government or taking down a government or something.
They need to make sure you're a good law-abiding citizen and stuff like that. It's really fucking weird.
Apparently, you play a game that takes out Nazi Germany, and no, that's too much like taking down a government.
Yeah, there's new measure. The Chinese Ministry of Education, new measures were intended to combat health problems, including addiction, that were believed to be related to online mobile and console games. This is a big thing in Asia specifically as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Because in South Korea, you have a government ID which you have to use to play games even. And if you're under a certain age, you can't play past a certain time at night.
I agree in dealing with the problem of people being addicted to anything, and games included, obviously. But I don't think approving them is the way to do it. It's to regulate the actual people and look after them is the way to go.
So in China, Tencent owned the digital storefront WeGame, which saw a huge drop of 5% on their stock. It's massive. If you don't know, if you've never seen Steam numbers, all of the numbers for Steam are like consumed by Asia and specifically China. That's where they get their most money from. So if you can get a foothold in China, you can make crazy money.
In the Western world, like I think like sports makes like a huge amount of money. Like in Asia, almost like games is their sports.
Yeah.
It's
And they
like
have
that big of a profit.
There's like 1 billion people just in China. Like they have so many people.
Even India like their games as well now.
I find it really strange that China has like a lot of like really good esports teams and stuff because they're really good at the like traditional sports like at the Olympics and stuff. Because there's so many fucking people there that eventually they're gonna it's like 100 monkeys on a typewriter.
Yeah, and they have dedicated players.
China is like 100 monkeys on a typewriter. Is what I'm trying to say.
It's like 1 billion typewriters with a monkey.
But they have such a huge player base that like they consistently make all the best teams. But the weirdest thing is South Korea's tiny, but it also makes some of the best esports teams. It's super.
It's
strange.
a difference between like you not spam. I don't want to say, but like you have a big pool to choose from, and then you have people that train incredibly a lot and then push for that.
Yeah, I think there's like a different.
It's just like two different cultures.
It's like there's a huge different like work culture in like Japan, South Korea, China, maybe North Korea. I'll have to ask Kim.
I think it's because I don't know. I'm kind of stretching my knowledge here, but I think it is because they treat companies as like family that then they can dedicated
I've heard
towards family.
Like I don't know if it was Nintendo, but that CEOs, if the company's doing bad, they will take a personal pay cut to their check rather than laying off employees.
That wasn't the old Nintendo CEO that did that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I will take the pay cut, which is what they should do because that's what the boss does. Take responsibility.
I don't know if we're live right now. It says the Twitch machine's been unplugged. We might be live. Maybe my player fucked up. If anyone's listening, tell me if I'm live. Let me go to my stream. See if I'm still alive. I guess I am. I think my player on the dashboard fucked up. Yeah, we're still live. Okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay, so if you want to make more money, we should start translating the. Do you know Mandarin?
No.
Can you translate the podcast into Mandarin, please, so we can start uploading it on Weibo, which I believe is like Chinese Facebook?
Do you want subtitles or do you want?
No, I want dubbed.
I want dubbed.
I want someone to dub the entire podcast in Mandarin.
I feel like we wouldn't get through the strict guidelines to get.
You don't think we get through the Chinese firewall?
I think we chat a lot of shit about lots of governments and policies.
Hey, listen. Here on the Inbetween podcast, we teach you never rebel against any authoritarian governments.
Actually, hang on.
Always make sure you log all your internet activity.
You know, in like films that like just change the plot entirely to be appealing to the Chinese. We can just do the same with the dubbing. We can just change what
famously, Star Wars didn't exist in China.
Yeah, I did see that video.
Because it was like the entirety of Star Wars is like rebel against the Empire. China's like shit. They're gonna rebel against communism.
So they had like really poor.
And there was like a bootleg comic that got. Star Wars was so famous that Chinese people wanted to see it, but they couldn't. So people made a bootleg comic version,
which is
of
great.
Star Wars based on the script, so they couldn't even see the characters. And there's a video on it on YouTube, and look up Chinese bootleg Star Wars comic.
The video was great. So it was like, if you want to make a Star Wars film, make the comic version. Interpret the bootleg.
What's the Force Awakens did terribly in China, just because people in China never watched Star Wars.
No, they weren't allowed to.
No. But yeah, Watashi wa Source 2.
I think
that's Japanese.
We can change. I think we can change the meaning in dubbing.
Wait, what's the thing? May says from. She says freeze. That means she says Dojin Wushin wa. That's the only Chinese I know. Dojin Wushin wa.
What does that mean?
Freeze, don't move. There you go. Translate. Give me. I need English subtitles just for the part I'm speaking in Chinese.
But not the Chinese.
That's
version.
all I know. That's all the Chinese I know. and it's probably completely wrong.
Probably.
Anyway, Tony's dressed as a skeleton. You're gonna have to censor him. Oh my god, we can't show.
Oh no!
We can't show this podcast in China. No.
No, just face me with a bear, a panda.
It's like it's really funny to see. Like Fortnite's getting released in China, and there's the kill feed. The kill feed thing had like a skull on it. And it got replaced with like a bullseye instead. So like shit, we can't have skulls in China. How the fuck are they gonna have Skull Trooper in China?
The spooky updates.
Yeah.
They're missing out on Halloween. That's what I'm saying. Like Chinese.
You think people like rebel against the Chinese government? They just start playing spooky, scary skeletons. Spooky, scared. Right, you're coming with us, mate.
The new uprising. Skeleton.
The skeletons uprising.
Skeleton rebels.
Okay, well, we'll move on from that. We love talking about China on this podcast because we always do for some reason.
We want them to watch. Clearly,
Steam's more popular in China. There was a Team Fortress 2 mod called TF 2008 that reverted the game back to 2008, and it had its own mod page on Steam. And I was like, "This is cool." And then it was like, "But Steam's removed it now." And I was like, "What?" So Valve removed the TF 2000 Steam page, claiming that it wasn't a TF2 mod and was repurposing leaked code.
What?
And that if you don't know, 2008 version of Team Fortress 2 would be, of course, pre-Hats TF2. So it would be a world I did not recognise. I did buy TF2 in 2007. I've owned it for since its release.
Yeah.
So
you don't remember it without.
I don't remember TF2 with it. I don't remember not opening crates and getting fucked. I don't remember the pre-loot boxes, that the scourge that Valve brought into the world.
Yeah, they created them. They brought them.
I'm sure someone else did them slightly before. They just weren't as popular as the TF2 ones. I'm sure it probably happened. Can you think of anyone who had loot boxes pre-2007? Because TF2 was the first one.
I can't think of any of them had microtransactions in 2007. So
it was definitely. I think microtransactions were probably more of a thing in Asia, maybe.
Maybe. I wouldn't know.
We're Chinese experts, so we should know.
This time, this time in Fortnite, we'll be Chinese experts. We'll be able to speak fluent Chinese and write fluent Mandarin.
Well, that was a thing that doesn't exist anymore, and some people are annoyed. But it's TF2, or TF2 as we now know it, Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 was trying to take the anagram TF2, and I was like, that's not your anagram.
EA keeps doing that. Garden Warfare trying to take GW
Guild Wars
and GW 2.
Yeah.
That's taken.
So we move on to VR news. Steam VR has introduced a movement smoothing to improve performance. So there's now a beta for Steam VR.
It's like non-shit
and
mouse smoothing.
Basically the science behind what it does is it only needs to render one out of the two frames. It smooths them together in order to increase performance, and it can do it it can scale down further if you need it. So if you're having a heavy load, it can synthesize 2 frames or even 3 frames for the one delivered, which is really cool. So the Vive is currently only available on Vive because it can't be used with Oculus or Windows Mixed Reality because there's underlying display driver issues.
Right.
Well, there's not display. They have different underlying display drivers, I should say. So it can only be used on Steam's system. I guess that's it seems like they only built it for their headset. But any system that isn't Windows Mixed Reality or Oculus should work, as long as they don't use those underlying display drivers. But yeah, because it uses the Vive has 90 hertz panel, and this brings me on to another topic. We talked about Sony. They had a technology to smooth frames together, and their patent went through last week. They had a motion sickness detector for VR.
You could say it's a different kind of smoothing.
They put this patent through last year, and it's just been approved, I believe. And I was reading through the patent, and what it does is it uses things like a heart rate sensor or a a pressure sensor, and what it does is it goes through all these things, and it goes, "Are you feeling motion sick?" And then it's like a flowchart, and it goes, "Display a warning, turn off the function, contact external party for assistance, trigger an alarm." So if you get like to a point where your skin is sweaty or dry, or your eye moistures are too high or low, it can like detect these things. And they patented this, but like find a way to detect when you are feeling motion sick, and then adjust it. Try and adjust it, or if not, warn you. If that doesn't work, warn someone else, or like have an alarm that goes off to alert like anyone nearby, sort of thing. If you're like, if you die in VR, you die in real life. So they want to get you out of there if you're stuck. It's like the Matrix.
More importantly, if you die in real life, you can't buy VR games.
Yeah,
that's more important.
That's more important to Sony.
Yeah.
The PlayStation VR is actually a fucking legit VR headset.
It is.
I haven't used it, but from everything I've heard, it's actually a really good headset.
Some people not a big fan of VR, like Jim or Jim Sterling, for example. I can't just call him by his first name. That's a bit.
Our good mate Jim.
Yeah.
From our good mate Mr. Quisition.
Yeah. We know him well. He knows us well. No, he doesn't. But he's not a big fan of VR. But like he.
You literally wear a VR headset on the thing.
Yeah, I like VR.
What are you saying?
But he doesn't like VR too much, but he does approve of the. If he does do VR, he would do it with PlayStation. I think PSVR,
PlayStation VR.
Is it all the acronyms?
I found it funny how they were like, "Oh shit, everyone wants a Wii. Let's use those Wiimotes."
Oh yeah.
And then they made the motion controllers, the Move.
Yeah.
And then I actually I at least had some of those. It was okay. It wasn't the worst motion controller I've ever used.
They were
actually kind of good.
They're actually more accurate than all the other ones on the market at the time. They're just very expensive, and what you can use them with.
I played a game called Unfinished Swan that was okay.
Unfinished Swan?
Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like.
Unfinished?
Well, the idea of the game is it's like a painting, and you have to use the controllers.
Oh, I see.
To like finish the game. It's kind of like an artsy game.
If you're share painting then.
I don't know if it shows off the motion controllers or not. So you like use the move controllers to like paint your way around to solve like puzzles and stuff.
Okay,
it was actually really fun.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Imagine it's in VR as well.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Make it spooky.
Oh wow, I like the spookiness.
It's called Unfinished One. It's actually super legit. Good game on the PlayStation Move.
There's a whale bush there or something. I like they're just like a castle surrounded by a maze. I kind of like that as a concept actually.
It did like the weird like priority like dancing thing with the Move, I think, and there was like an exercise thing as well, like Wii Sports.
There's a weird shooter thing as well that didn't really work as well, which no one remembers. I don't remember.
You've erased it from your memory.
It was useless information, let's be honest.
But I think we're coming to the end of the podcast. Shall we wrap it up for that week?
I mean, we have a great PR Molyneux tweet this time.
Okay, we'll go to the PR Molyneux tweet. So if you don't know, Red Dead Redemption came out this week. And if you don't know, in Fable 2, there's the great mechanic that Peter added where you can pet animals, you can pet a dog. And he said, makes me so happy to know other developers are out there continue to be inspired by Fable 2. And you got the dog petting mechanic in Red Dead Redemption 2.
What's Less Than 3 got to do with it, though?
Yeah, he hates Ray William Johnson, that's why.
Less Than 3.
What was his? It was equals 3?
Yeah.
It was like his thing, it was like a smiley face. He hates people like Ray William Johnson that have 3 in their name. He doesn't exist anymore. I think he does acting in the real world.
No, he does vlogs now.
Oh, okay.
He went, fuck YouTube, I'm going to do my own thing, then he failed doing the acting stuff and the film stuff, and then he went back to vlogging. Thanks, was it Quinton Reviews or something? He told me that. He did like Fallen Titans series. So.
Well, I guess we'll never know. We do
It's a
we do
mystery.
not have an infinite box of knowledge called Google in front of us. We'll never know.
Spooky.
Spooky. That has been the Inbetween podcast.
Or has it?
Or has it? You can check us out on YouTube and everything in between podcast. The VOD will be up either tonight or tomorrow. If you're watching this live on twitch.tv/Scorn. We did the spooky. If you missed the intro to this and you're listening, please go back on YouTube and watch the intro because we put an hour of rehearsal into that intro. You can follow me on Twitter at Scorn2000 for updates.
I don't think we'll be getting any awards for it. I'll put it that way.
And of course, when we say goodbye, we'll be going into the rhinoceros music. Please put the video full screen for the jump scare that comes right at the end. So goodbye.
Bye.